So not to dwell on the negative, but can you describe the feeling you know something's wrong right away when you hurt your arm?
Yeah, I kind of did. I was trying to compete. I was in a spot that year in 23 where I was trying to right all the wrongs that I felt kind of happened in 22. So, I was kind of maybe looking past how I was feeling and just trying to kind of grit it out. And, it worked to an extent, but it definitely, when I knew it was time, it was time. And, I can't say I was necessarily surprised when I had an MRI and the results.
That's interesting because, Chris, you say that all the time. A lot of times you said you're trying to right all the wrongs and you don't want to say anything to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a results business. So, you kind of sometimes feel like you need to do more when really, sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Right. You're trying to find an answer to something that physically.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened. I realized that I've tried everything in the book. It's just not quite clicking, and it kind of happened somewhat quick. So usually that's injury related.
I asked Rick Kranitz about you the other day, and he said, "Look, the best thing that happened was it was an injury. It wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't a discomfort. It was an injury. You go get injuries fixed, and then you come back." Did you think at the end of last year, though, it had been such a long process? Were you worn down?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely a little bit. I think when I first came back last year, I was feeling good. I was throwing the ball pretty well. And, as the season wore on, definitely had some fatigue kind of set in. And, I've talked to plenty of guys, Matt Sick, Sale, a bunch of guys that had been through it, and they kind of all said the same thing. I think those innings that, while they weren't my best innings, were very valuable to kind of my mindset. And, like I said, getting the pitches on my arm that kind of set me up for spring training and this year.
You said you didn't like it, but you understood the reasoning not to go with you in the postseason last year. Does that motivate you going into this year?
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I'm not thinking about the past as much, like righting my wrongs. I kind of learned that lesson. So
sure.
Just kind of coming in with a clean slate, acting like I haven't even pitched for this team before.